Hi.
How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Perfect. So, shall we start?
Yeah, I've been really excited for this. I think we tried to organize it a few times, so I'm so glad we finally were able to do this.
Yes, I think we have been in contact in September, right?
Yes, that's right. I
It's
got
been a
crowned
lot
in
of,
June, and then since September, yeah, we've been in contact, so I'm delighted to finally get to speak to you.
thank you. So we'll start. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the seventh episode of our interview series, 30 Questions Before the Crown. Today's conversation is a special one. She wears a crown that represents a nation, but more importantly, she carries a responsibility to speak, to lead, and to serve with a purpose. Joining me today is Miss World Ireland 2025, Caoimhe Kenny. Beyond the title, beyond the stage lights, today we are going to explore the woman, the journey, the pressure, and the purpose behind the crown. Miss Kenny, thank you for being here and welcome.
Thank you so much. And I'd love to start off this live by letting everyone know how my name is pronounced because I think it's a tricky one when people have never maybe seen this name before. It's Quiva and it's an Irish name, so it doesn't sound how it's spelt in the English language.
So I think can I just call you Miss Kenny for the sake of this interview?
Absolutely, you can call me Miss Kenny. That's perfectly fine.
Irish names can be very tricky.
But thank you for your kind words. That was really beautiful at the start. Thank you.
Welcome. So let's start. So, when people hear Miss World Ireland, they see a title. But who is Miss Kenny beyond the crown?
Beyond the crown, I'm just like everyone else. I'm a normal girl from Ireland. I
Mhm.
love going out with my friends, spending time with my family. But on a professional level, beyond the crown, I work in beauty buying and I'm also a dancer. So I'm trained in ballet, tap,
Mhm.
jazz, lyrical acrobatics. And beyond all that, I'm someone that loves to give back to my community.
Mhm.
And now since I've became Miss Ireland, I'm taking that to the next level, and I'm someone that cares deeply for the people in my country and my neighbours and everyone else in Ireland. So beyond the crown, I'm just a happy person that loves meeting new people, and yeah, that's it. That's a bit about me beyond the crown.
Perfect. So now that you have described about your neighbors and all, so I just want to ask you, how would your closest friends describe you, and how accurate do you think that is?
I think my closest friends would probably say that, well, I would hope that they think I'm funny. I think they would probably say that I'm a good listener and I give good advice.
Mhm.
And I'm someone that cares deeply for my friends, and I'm always there as a listening ear and to give good advice. And I think if they were to think about me, that's what they would say.
Perfect. So, what is the one thing about you that the public rarely gets to see?
I think people rarely get to see probably the chaos behind. Obviously on Instagram you're sharing your best moments. I'm
Mhm.
sharing these fabulous events that I'm going to, or I
Mhm.
love sharing about my charity work and
Mhm.
what I do for my day job, for my career. But I think people probably don't see the juggling act between juggling full-time employment with this responsibility of being Miss Ireland. And I would love people to see that side of me, and just see that, I'm just like everybody else. I'm just trying to do my best all the time. And yeah, that's what I'd love to see.
Okay. So, becoming Miss World Ireland from the childhood, you had enough life experiences in your life. So, what do you think is that one moment in your life you feel like, it shaped you to who you are today?
Yeah, I think a big moment that shaped me was when I was younger. When I was a child, I moved around a lot due to my parents' work, and I was moved from different schools. And from an early age, I just learned how to adjust, and I just learned how to go out into the world with confidence and meet new people, and you know, wear who I am on my sleeve, like let people know who I am, because I didn't have any other choice. I had to make new friends and I had to insert myself into a whole new life. So I think that was a changing moment for me in my life, was constantly just being ready for a new adventure. And I think that helped me with becoming Miss Ireland, because adjusting to a new life was familiar. So
Mhm,
I feel that really prepared me for stepping into this new role.
mhm. Now that you are actually going to Miss World, you need to hold strong on to your values and the things that you hold close to your life. So, what do you think is that one personal value that you refuse to compromise no matter what the situation is?
Kindness and empathy. I don't think there's any moment in my life where I would ever compromise that side of me. I think always lead with kindness and always have empathy in your heart. And
Mhm.
that is something within me and my personality that I will never lose and I will always lead with.
Yeah, that is a very important quality to have because at Miss World we do a lot of humanitarian work due
Yeah.
to the Purpose Project, and you will be traveling around the world meeting different people from different backgrounds. So that genuinely is a very important quality that I genuinely hope you will hold on till the very end.
Thank you. Definitely. It's one that's very important to me, and it's definitely not gonna leave.
So now that we have come to know who Miss Kenny is as a person, I want to know a bit more about your national pageant journey. So you told me you were working full time. So what was the one thing that initially motivated you to compete in Miss Ireland, and why specifically Miss World Ireland pageant?
Yeah, Miss Ireland has always been a dream for me. And I think in terms of, I knew I wanted to do Miss World, and that's why I went for Miss Ireland. Miss World to me is the pageant that really shows the true values of the rounded woman, which I love. And I think for me, I always felt like I wanted to do more, that I was capable of more. I felt that I wanted to leave an impact behind.
Mm-hmm,
And I realised that I could do that by becoming Miss Ireland. Miss
mm-hmm,
Ireland gives you that platform to use your voice and inspire others.
mm-hmm,
And I knew by chasing that dream of mine, if I was able to achieve that, then
mm-hmm,
I could let every other young girl and boy know that achieving your dreams is possible.
mm-hmm,
And that's what really made me want to do it, that self belief, and to be able to share that with other people.
mm-hmm. Perfect. So growing up, you were a student, then you went to university, you went to work, and you have been set to your ways, right? We all have our ways in life. So
Yeah.
which was that one part of that, or which was that one segment of that national pageant that demanded most discipline from you as a person?
I would say preparing for all of the rounds. One thing, I knew that I wanted to come strong. I knew that I wanted to come prepared. And in
Mhm.
order to do that, I had to train for our sports round,
Yes.
head to head challenge. I had to prepare my beauty with a purpose project,
Hmm.
talent.
Hmm.
I knew that Miss Ireland was looking for that woman that could excel in all those categories. So for
Hmm.
me, it was that self discipline to say, I need to make sure that I'm prepared in every single category, not focus on one, make sure that across the board, I'm ready for whatever may arise during the competition.
Perfect. So Miss World definitely is in looking for a complete package who can excel in every field. So my next question is in connection to that itself. No matter how much we prepare for a pageant, how much ever hard work we put in, there might be moments in the pageant where self-doubt creeps in. So for you, was there any moment in your national pageant where you felt like, is it really the thing for me? Or if you ever had that feeling, how did you manage that stress and everything?
I love this question because I often think people when they see you they say, oh, there's just so much confidence and that person really believes in themselves, but we're all human at the end of the day. There
Mm-hmm.
are going to be times, no matter how much we believe in ourselves, there are going to be times where we might not be sure or we have that little second of doubt. But for me, I just kept myself focused. I
Mm-hmm.
just kept myself aligned with my purpose, and I knew that I had made it that far into getting into the Miss Ireland competition.
Mm-hmm.
What was stopping me from winning? I had as much chance as everybody else. Ultimately, we don't know who's going to win. We don't know who the judges are going to pick. So just reminding myself, I've made it this far. If
Mm-hmm.
anyone else can do it, I can too. And I just think it's those little moments where you just need to take a second,
Mm-hmm.
remind yourself that you have the potential and you have that talent to achieve your goals.
Yeah, this is exactly one thing that I talk to all the girls competing in Miss World. You will be competing with winners from every country. They
Mhm.
might have all the qualities that you have. So if you ever are going to compare yourself with another delegate, you'll have like 100 plus girls to do that. So
Yeah,
always stay focused. You know your strength. You know what your purpose is. If you directly just focus on that thing and enjoy the competition, you will be the best. The moment that self doubt creeps in, stay
yeah,
strong to your foothold and your purpose. So that is a
exactly.
very good mindset to have. so
Thank
so
you.
when you are looking back to the competition as a whole, what do you believe truly set you apart from the other contestants?
You know, the when I was in Miss Ireland, every single girl standing on that stage had a reason to be there. Every
Mhm.
single girl had, or woman, I should say, had a voice, and everyone had qualities that made them unique. I would say what set me apart was my community work.
Mhm.
I was deeply involved with my community and with my charity work when
Mhm.
I was in the run up to Miss Ireland. And before that, prior to even applying for the competition, charity
Mhm.
work was a big part of who I was and what I had found a purpose in that. So
Mhm.
I think that definitely set me apart. I think that the judges could see that this was more to me than just something I was doing because I wanted to be Miss Ireland. This was something that really mattered to me,
Mhm.
and I think the judges seen that, and they seen that I could take that to a national level as Miss Ireland.
Okay, I think that's beautiful, because beauty with a purpose is, as we know, the heart and soul of this world. So, and the judges can see right through you. Whenever we are going to a beauty pageant, the judges sitting there has experiences of maybe like decades. So, our sincerity, they will see right through us. So, I think they might have seen how sincere you are in your work. So, very good.
Thank you.
But while competing in a national pageant like Miss Ireland, which is looking for a complete package, which is looking for different walks, not just the way you walk on a swimsuit and gown on a ramp, you might have received a lot of criticism and feedback, because you are actually subjecting yourself to a wide set of eyes who will be judging you throughout your every single step. So, during your national pageant, was there any such feedback or criticism that you got that really challenged you?
I am someone that if I receive criticism,
Mhm.
I view that as, unless it's constructive, if it's criticism just to be mean, I see that as a reflection of the other person. I would not let that get into my head. I
Mhm.
always stand by, people that spread hate aren't happy.
Mhm.
And if I were to receive criticism, I just need to remind myself that I'm here because I deserve to be here.
Mhm.
And I'm here with a bigger purpose than listening to criticism from maybe people online or in the media. There was no moment that challenged me in that sense, because I think over my life I've just learned that the people that you truly care about and that I care about,
Mhm.
they're the people's opinions that matter. And once you're a good person and you're kind in your heart and
Mhm.
you are happy with who you are, then that criticism doesn't matter.
Perfect. So now that you have already won Miss Ireland, the next step in your journey as Miss World. And it's going to be another level because you will be competing with more than 100 countries and most importantly, winner from 100 plus countries. So, representing Ireland globally comes with expectations. How do you personally carry that weight?
Sorry, what does that say? Sorry, I think it just cut out.
Yeah, I'll repeat again. Representing Ireland globally comes with expectations. People are going to expect things out of you, right? So,
Yeah.
how do you personally carry that weight of that expectations?
I knew by becoming Miss Ireland that it wasn't a title, it was a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that people are expecting you to show up as a leader, they're expecting you to show up as a role model. So I was prepared for that. And that was the decision of entering Miss Ireland. I knew that I had to be grounded in myself and confident in myself, that I was ready to take that step and be in that mindset to, you know, be the Miss Ireland that they needed. So yeah, I think I was mentally prepared going into Miss Ireland to, be the best Miss Ireland I could be. But I'm constantly trying to do better. I'm constantly want to improve myself. And, I think moments where, young girls will come up to me and say, "Oh, I follow you on social media and I love watching what you do." Like, they're the moments that I realize, okay, I am doing a good job. I am being the best Miss Ireland that I can be. But yeah, that's how I feel about that
There
one.
is some sweetness in carrying those, weight and responsibility as Miss Ireland, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the nicest thing about being Miss Ireland, and I always say, like, I wish I I wish I could be Miss Ireland forever, because I love meeting new people.
Mm-hmm.
I love just starting up conversations with strangers on the street.
Mm-hmm.
That's just makes me happy. So being Miss Ireland, I'm coming across so many new people from all walks of life, and that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the most beautiful things about this journey.
So, since you have already won Miss Ireland and going to Miss World, you might have received a lot of feedback by yourself watching your national pageant, right? You might
Yeah.
have watched your national pageant and taken notes. So, and now that you're going for Miss World, what aspect of yourself are you still actively working on to strengthen before departing for Miss World pageant?
To answer questions in the time frame. I know you get like 30 seconds to answer your question. So
Mm,
I think on the night of when I won, I think I had one more line to say that I wanted to say, but the time was up. So that's one that
mm.
I'm working on, is just making sure that I answer the questions nice and concise and can do it within the time that you have. If I'm, of course, lucky enough to be one of the women on stage that has that
Showcase.
opportunity.
Yeah, and that is something that's really important that a lot of people, a lot of delegates don't take seriously because at head to head we don't have time frame. We can express how much ever we
Yeah.
want at the head to head round, but when it comes to the finale, the top eight and top four, you have a very strict time frame,
Mhm.
and sometimes the girls take a lot of time to think, and when they put it into words, the words doesn't fit into those 30 seconds or what 40 seconds, how much ever
Yeah.
the pageant gives. So I think it's very important for you and all the other national girls that are going to Miss World, please practice that thing. That thing really counts, because if you didn't finish it properly, a lot of your points will be you know reduced. So that's a very important thing and good thing that you're practicing on it.
Thank you.
And of course, there is only one crown and 100 of you competing. So if you didn't win Miss World, how will you define the success for your journey?
You're standing on that stage amongst over 100 other women, and we're all there united by the same purpose and the same goal, and
Mhm,
that is to create a positive impact on the world.
mhm,
And I know that every other delegate that will be going there, we have our trust in the judges and the organization that they will pick the best Miss World fit for the job. And I think no matter who's selected, we'll all be happy with that, because we know that we're all there with the same purpose and we're all there
mhm,
with the same goals, and that is to create change. And I
mhm,
think for me, it's a big achievement to get to Miss World. It's an honor to
Mhm.
represent your country at that level, to me, I've already won in that regard. I feel
Mhm.
incredibly proud to stand on that stage, and I think my success will be measured in the impact I've made along the way I've made people feel throughout this journey.
Perfect.
That will be the measure of my success for sure.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So now that you're going to Miss World, the world will have their eyes on you. So what is that one stereotype about Irish women do you want to challenge internationally? There is any, false stereotypes about Irish people that you want the world to know? See, that's not the case. This is who we are. Is there anything like that?
I'm trying to think what stereotype Irish people have. When you think of Irish people, what do you think of? I think people think of Irish and they think of like shamrocks and leprechauns and gold coins. And, I want to, I suppose people think of Ireland and see a small country.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go over there and show that although we're a small country, we're mighty and we've so much talent and
Mm-hmm.
so much potential to do incredible things in the world. So I want to go over and show people that although Ireland's a small country, we're capable of big things. But I would be interested, what do you think of when you think of Ireland?
Beer. Irish beer. I heard that Irish beer is, pretty good, and I really want to try it sometime.
Well, you may make your way over to Ireland.
Maybe soon. Soon. I am here in Germany, so maybe one day I'll come. And this is one very important question that one of our fans gave us. And I also think it's serious. The thing is, how do you respond to the fear of being judged, not as an individual, but as the representative of an entire country? Because when you go to Miss World, you're no longer Miss Kenny, you're Ireland. If you
Yeah,
do something good, Ireland did best. If you do something bad, Ireland did it.
yeah.
So how do you respond to the fear of being judged as a country?
Was that judged as a country?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it is a big responsibility. And, I think from becoming Miss Ireland, when I'm going out and I'm going to different events and meeting new people, I always have that in my head. Yes, I am Caoimhe Kenny, but I'm also Miss Ireland. I'm representing that brand and, that person. So I
Hmm.
have to always consider that.
Hmm.
Um, I think I just want to do my country proud.
Hmm.
I just want the people of Ireland to see my journey throughout Miss Worlds and for them to be proud of me and for them to feel that they sent the right candidate and I did our country justice. And
Hmm.
once the people of Ireland are proud of what I've been able to achieve, then I feel that's a job well done, and I'm really happy to be able to make them proud and showcase Ireland to a global audience.
Yeah, that's perfect. So the next segment of our interview would be the beauty with a purpose, the most important part of Miss World. So tell us something about your beauty with a purpose project. Why this course is very deeply personal to you. I know that you have been working with some, uh, hygiene product company, and you have been volunteering a lot. So can you tell something in depth about those?
Absolutely. I'd love to talk more about this because this is really the essence of what being Miss Ireland is and going to Miss World. Beauty
Hmm.
with a Purpose is at the heart of everything that I'm doing. I started my volunteer journey prior to being Miss Ireland with a local homeless charity in my community.
Hmm.
And through that, then was the first volunteer
Hmm.
for a charity called Hygiene Hub.
Hmm.
And Hygiene, first volunteer in my community. And Hygiene Hub is a charity, the only charity in Ireland actually working to combat hygiene poverty. So,
Hmm.
hygiene poverty is the inability to afford essential hygiene items. You think of period products, shampoo, body wash, deodorant, shower gel.
Hmm.
And I realised through volunteering with the homeless charity that when people are in financial hardship and people are struggling financially and worrying about how they're going to pay for food and pay their bills, one of the first things to go is hygiene items,
Hmm.
because if you have to make a
It's a
decision
luxury.
between am I going to buy food or am I going to buy shampoo or a toothbrush, you're going to buy food
But
because
yeah.
you need that to survive.
Hmm.
But when people have to make that decision to cut that, they lose a part of their dignity, they lose their confidence, And I believe that when you have your hygiene, you have your dignity. And when you have
Mm,
your dignity, you have your confidence. And then along that journey, I also learned that this was impacting children's education because they were missing school days due
mm,
to hygiene poverty,
yeah.
out of shame or embarrassment, or young girls missing school because of not having the right access to period products that they need.
Mm,
So I decided, like, there cannot be young people missing out on their education due to something that should not be a luxury. It's a basic human right.
mhm,
So I started my project, Feel Clean, Safe and Seen, and
mhm,
it's about installing confidence in every classroom in Ireland. I educate young people on hygiene poverty. I then put the challenge in the students' hands, and
mhm,
they do a fundraiser to collect donated hygiene items.
mhm,
These hygiene items are put back into the school to support families
mhm,
who are in this position where they do not have the ability to afford essential hygiene items.
mhm.
And that is just kind of showing kids as well the journey of the importance of empathy and helping the people around us and the people in our community, while also tackling a big issue such as hygiene poverty.
Mhm. That's beautiful. And when we do a beauty with the purpose of this scale, especially across the country,
Mhm.
not everything is a smooth sail, right? Like there are challenges that will come our way. So when you were doing your beauty with the purpose project throughout the schools and everything, so what uncomfortable truth did you discover while working throughout this project?
I suppose how many people didn't know how big of an issue hygiene poverty was.
Hmm.
I think we're well aware in Ireland we're currently going through a housing crisis and a cost
Hmm.
of living crisis, and this
Yeah.
is something that is in the media and people are aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the uncomfortable truth was the awareness around hygiene poverty,
Mm-hmm.
and that policymakers and our leaders aren't doing enough about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the truth that I realised I wanted to shed light on. And that just confirmed my decision that this was an important topic, because as Miss Ireland, I can raise the awareness of
Mm-hmm.
hygiene poverty with my title. So I that just reconfirmed that yes, this project that I'm passionate about, more people need to know about it.
Yeah, especially in countries like mine in India, like, hygiene poverty or period poverty are not something that we widely talk about. So
Yeah.
when you were bringing in a new subject like this, especially not in the cities of Ireland, I think they will be very well adjusted to all of this. But when you were working in maybe the rural side of
Yeah.
Ireland, did bringing up this conversation, was people okay with talking about all of this with you?
Yeah, and that's a great point to make, because it's probably something that does have a bit of a stigma attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a society where we've created these expectations for how people are supposed to show up,
Mm-hmm.
and no one wants to talk about the elephant in the room, and it's a stigma. No one wants to talk about, not having the access to those items, or, do people might not want to talk about periods so openly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think going into the schools, obviously when you first speak to the students, they might feel like a little bit awkward. It's not something
Mm-hmm.
that they're used to hearing about. But I think the only way we make this a more regular conversation, and the only way we can break this stigma, is by going in at grassroots level, going into young people and educating them. And then it won't become a topic that people don't talk about anymore.
Mm-hmm. So when you're doing a project like this, was there any moment during your journey that emotionally affected you the most?
Emotionally affected me. Um, There are highs and lows with this journey. I think after I won was such a high. I've never felt so proud of myself before, and that feeling, I wish I could like bottle that up and
Mm-hmm.
keep it forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are times that I'm really busy juggling everything that's going on, and I might feel tired. And they're probably the most challenging times, but I think the positive outweighs any negative, and I just remind myself how lucky and grateful I am to be on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm loving every minute of it.
So, as we all know, Miss World's core is beauty with a purpose. But in general, people who are not from the pageant fraternity, when they come to know about, beauty with the purpose project, they might see that pageant advocacy is more symbolic than impactful. The girls are doing it for the sake of pageant. So if somebody is to put forward an allegation like that, how would you handle that? It's not just symbolic. People are actually making real impact with the beauty of the purpose project.
Yeah, that's something I've been trying to really speak about as Miss Ireland.
Mhm,
Pageantry, everyone knows what Miss Ireland is in this country and Miss World, but it's probably maybe not as popular in some other countries. Like I think India, for example, pageantry would be very, very popular. So in Ireland, I'm trying to let people know that it's not about someone going on stage and looking pretty and wearing a gorgeous dress.
mhm,
You will not have any chance in this pageantry if it is not focused on what your purpose is and your charity
mhm,
work and your beauty with a purpose. That is what it is all about. And what you learn when you're at these pageants is that every woman has a story, every woman has something they feel passionately about.
mhm.
And what I would say is we need more of it. We need more women like the women in pageantry, because they're standing up and they're not afraid to use their voices, and they're inspiring young people to do the same. So I would just tell people to go and watch a few videos from Miss World on YouTube, or go in on the Instagram page of some contestants, and you will see nearly every other post is going to be the good that they're doing in the world.
Exactly. I tell this to all the people who are outside the pageant fraternity. Like, not all of these girls are like, want to be models. Like, model. I'm not saying as that modeling is bad thing or it's easy.
Yeah,
A lot of these girls are very well endowed. They have their career. A lot of them are doctors,
yeah,
scientists, and we have women from different walks of life coming to Miss World because of the purpose they have. They're not
yeah,
just facially pretty; they have a purpose and they have a cause. So that is also something that I have been telling to everyone. It's
yeah.
not as superficial as you think it is.
No.
Women come here, they have a goal, they have a story to tell. It's not just the way their face look or their body looks. It's the story that sets them apart from other 100 beautiful girls.
I agree. I agree. And I always say that every woman can put on their makeup and do their hair and
Mhm,
wear a dress fit for a pageant queen.
mhm.
Any woman is capable of that, but what makes you stand out is what's in here, what's in the inside, and who you are as a person. And that's ultimately going to be the decider if you are worthy of a title such as Miss World.
Exactly. And the last question from this segment would be, if your platform ended tomorrow, if your platform ended together tomorrow, what would continue because of the work you have done?
Well, I'm hoping that my Beauty with Purpose is not just something that I'm doing because of Miss World. My Beauty with Purpose project is something that I want to scale year on year in Ireland. I'm only getting started and I don't plan to stop anytime soon. And I actually had a call from a teacher that I'm doing this program with, and she said to me, "Oh, will this be on again next year?" I said, "Yeah, that's the plan, and I hope to be in more schools. I eventually want to be in every school across the country. So that is something. If my title stopped tomorrow, that is what would continue.
Perfect. So far we have talked about who you are as a person, your national pageant, your preparation for international pageant, your Beauty with the Purpose project. So now I want to know a little bit more about your aspirations in life, your visions, your missions, the legacy and the values that you have as a person. So the first question regarding that is, what does leadership mean to you when no one is watching?
Leadership means those moments where you're uplifting others.
Mhm.
You can't be a leader and not inspire. And I think when no one is watching, reminding the people around you of their worth and that they are worthy, that is true leadership, uplifting others.
Beautifully said. So, have you ever had to choose between being liked and being honest? What did you choose?
There are moments where honesty is so important, and I think my integrity as a person, I'm always
Mhm,
going to stand up for what's right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always going to speak my mind. So I will always choose honesty.
Honesty is the best policy. So, what responsibility do you think public figures like you often avoid acknowledging?
Hmm. I
That's a tough question, isn't it?
That is a tough question. Um, I don't know if I shy away from any responsibility. I think so far in my journey, I feel like I've stood up to every challenge, but I suppose maybe
Mm-hmm.
what I could do a little more of is showing the or talking more about the behind the scenes, and not
Yeah,
everything is always perfect.
yeah.
And I think people that are in,
The
roles
rotten
like
pages.
mine and in the spotlight, we tend to maybe focus on all the good that's happening and the achievements, but maybe we could um spend a bit more time, sharing with people the behind the scenes and the not so good moments, to let other people know that we're human too, and we go through these things.
That would be a really interesting thing to watch because we only see the glitz and glams and we really don't know what's happening behind. So I think that's really interesting. Okay, so the next question would be, when challenges or criticisms arise, what keeps you grounded?
My family. I am such a big family person, and I'm so lucky to have such a great relationship with, my sister, my brothers, and my mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going through challenging times or receiving criticism or negativity, sometimes it is great to have that support system
Mm-hmm.
around me as well, and they do keep me grounded. They keep me humble as well, and I'm very lucky to have a family like that.
Perfect. So everybody would agree you're very lucky to have a family like that. So in future, this is not happening now. In future, when people look back at your reign as Miss World Ireland, what do you hope they say about you, and what do you hope they say you stood for?
I don't want to be remembered for what I said. I want to be remembered for what I did. And when people reflect back on me, I want them to think about all the great things I've did to inspire and help other people. And that's the legacy that I want to leave behind.
Perfect. That's so beautiful. So with that, we have completed all the difficult parts of our interview. So we just have one more segment that's just five questions. That is the calm,
If I
composed.
had this interview every week, I would be so prepared for Miss World. You
So the next question is a small rapid fire round. Just five questions. I don't want you to think in detail. I just want you
Okay.
to say what comes out of your mind the moment you hear the question. So don't think. It should be like this.
Yeah.
Okay. One word you're tired of being associated with.
Uh,
Don't think. Fast.
I can't think. What word I'm tired of being associated with? I would say perfect. Definitely not.
Perfect. That's the perfect answer. A fear you're still working through.
uh, Fear of not achieving my dreams.
Oh, okay. A mistake that taught you the most.
These were meant to be the easy ones. Mistake that taught me the most. Um, that's a hard one. A mistake that taught me the most, I would say. I've made lots of mistakes in my life. I have done things wrong in my job. I
Mhm.
have been on stage doing dance routines and forgot the dance. And that taught me the most, because I realized that you get over it and it's not that deep. So,
Okay. So the next quick question: what does beauty mean to you without using the word confidence?
without using the word what, sorry?
Confidence. What?
Confidence.
Yeah.
And is it just one word you
Yes.
want?
Yes.
Kindness.
Perfect. So the next question and the final question of our interview series. Finish this sentence, okay? I'll say a sentence and you'll have to finish it.
Perfect.
I will feel proud of myself if.
I win Miss World.
So, with that, our interview is finished. So,
Thank
Miss
you so
Kenny,
much. I absolutely loved speaking to you today. That was a lot of fun.
Miss Kenny, thank you for your honesty, your insight, and your willingness to go deeper than the surface level answers. Conversations like this remind us, titles may open doors, but it's the character and the purpose and the voice that leave a lasting impact in future. So we wish you strength, clarity, and courage as you prepare to represent Ireland at the global stage at Miss World. And to you, my dear viewers, thank you for everyone watching, and thank you for joining our exclusive interview. And this has been episode 7. So until next time, cheers.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.